So you play Sabrina Carpenter when you need... Wait, okay, when you...
So basically, I call it the nuclear option.
Okay.
Basically, whenever I'm having really, like, a lot of trouble on a boss fight, I just put on Sabrina Carpenter, and then I lock in for some reason.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's, like, the rhythms or something?
Maybe it might be.
Because you're a big rhythm game person, and
Yeah.
I feel like when you're playing a rhythm game, you lock in.
It's very, very funny, because, like, I'll spend, like, an hour on a boss fight, and I'll be like, oh, this fucking sucks, I put on short and sweet, I'm done by the time espresso hits. Like, it's...
Wow.
She gets me. She gets it done. Miss Carpenter, I was not aware of your game.
What are your faves off the new one?
Off the new one? Man-Child by Man with His Willpower. I like Go-Go Juice.
Nobody's Son? No? Okay.
My Man Has Willpower. Goodbye, obviously.
Fun. Yeah.
But just kind of, that's a good album. That's just a good album. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Kill Your Normie podcast, where we go deep on nerd culture and pop culture because, yes, it is that deep. I'm Lindsey.
I'm Ren.
You know, I just remembered that you used to do and I'm Ren and you would say something about yourself.
I'm too lazy to do that now. You think I have the brain power to do that now?
It just occurred to me that, like,
I'm Ren and I have four fictional men in my head and I call them the council. Is that what you want me to say?
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying it was a thread that was dropped. It was a thread that was dropped.
So where are we bringing it back? Well, then you have to do one. Do one.
I don't... Oh, man. My name is Lindsey, and I just realized some of my favorite characters could be described as just dirtbag.
Yeah, you have dirtbag taste.
Yeah.
The thing is, you have dirtbag taste, I have serial killer taste. So, like, it balances out.
It balances out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're very much cool in theory, not in practice.
Yes.
We are
do as we say, not as we do.
We are full advocates of cool in theory, not in practice.
Yes.
This episode is actually going to be about self-insert fanfic and self-shipping. Woo! So we're going to get into that. We're probably going to reveal some very embarrassing things.
Oh, very embarrassing. Especially over the past six months for me. Like, it has been wild.
Bad.
It's been wild, yeah.
It's okay. Yeah. This is a judgment-free zone.
Mm. Kill the cringe inside of you. Kill your normie.
This is what we're about.
Kill your normie.
We're gonna get real. But first, let's start with headshots and hyperfixations.
Oh, okay. So I have 2 headshots this week.
Okay, cool, because I have 2 hyperfixations.
Okay. So, I mean, my hyperfixation hasn't changed. It's still 100 line. I hit 50 endings, by the way. 50 out of 100 endings. But we won't go into that.
It's the beauty of unemployment, I gotta say.
Yes, unemployed behavior. But... the other one is that we got someone posted the cover of the script for Superman Man of Tomorrow, so that is in production.
See, okay, he's not a dirtbag.
He's great.
I love Superman.
He's great, yeah.
So, yeah.
And then my second headshot is there was a Nintendo Direct. As of filming this, the Nintendo Direct was a couple weeks ago. I was listening to it in my car on the way to Melanie's.
Do we want to say her name on the pod? Does the audience need to know who Melanie is?
You don't need to know who Melanie is.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know who Melanie is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I'm in the car on the way to Melanie's. And, I'm listening to it, and they're saying, like, hey, there's something killer going down at the beach. And I'm like, oh, well, the new Yakuza game comes out on the beach. No.
Jaws video game?
No.
Oh.
This isn't anything you'd know.
Oh, okay.
This is something that made me almost crash my car. So they're like, oh, there's something happening on the beach. And I'm just like, oh, there must be like a Yakuza DLC or something like that. Because the Yakuza game came out on Switch too. No, they're remaking one of my most embarrassingly favorite video games of all time. Super Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair. They are remaking it.
Oh my god.
I heard Nagita Komare's voice coming from my car speakers, and I almost swerved. No one should be subjected to his voice at 9:00 in the morning. But yeah, no, that was, that threw me off my groove. I am very excited. I'm very excited. He is not making it past the first trial. He's dead. For anyone who doesn't know, Danganronpa is a murder mystery game with some crazy characters, and it's very, very fun. It is not for everyone. But yeah, that's my, oh my god, the bane of my existence right now.
Is that both?
Those are both mine, Superman and Danganronpa.
Oh, yes.
Superman, Super Danganronpa, yes.
Yeah. So I have 2 hyperfixations. I would say they're light hyperfixations. I don't find myself completely chomping at the bit to, like, get back to them at every possible,
Bitch, it's a hobby.
I think at this point these are hobbies. So my first hyperfixation is recently I've just gotten back into, like, I think because of Thrilling Adventure Hour, I've just gotten back on my podcast grind, like my fiction podcast grind specifically. So I have jumped back into a podcast that finished prematurely in like 2020, but it's called King Falls AM. And it's like a late night call-in radio show that takes place in this like town in the Pacific Northwest, and like weird shit keeps happening. And I love them. The 2 guys who host are great, and the characters are wild. And that's pretty great. And my other one is, so I was like looking for something to watch on Netflix the other night because I needed something like soothing. I just needed something like whimsical and nice. So I was gonna turn on Hilda, which I've seen all of, and I love Hilda, but I ended up watching the first episode of 11 Forever, which is literally about, like, a girl, 12 Forever, it's called 12 Forever, so she, and this kind of goes hand in hand with what we're talking about, so it's about a girl, she's just turned 12 years old, her family is really trying to pressure her to, like, grow up, so, like, for her 12th birthday, her mom gives her, like, deodorant and, like, socks, and a bra, and, like, all this stuff, and she's like, well, yeah, like, when I was, like, your age, like, I couldn't wait to, like, chase after boys and do all this stuff, and she has this, like, really rich inner world, like, she just wants to play pretend with her buddy, who's a guy, and, like, run around, get dirty, and stay, like, a kid forever, like, she just wants that, and they go to, they have, like, this secret world that they can just go to, it's very Dragon Tales, I'm not gonna lie, so they have this key, and they can go somewhere, and the catalyst is that there's gonna be a yard sale, and the mom's gonna throw out all of these toys, and she's just like, well, wait, I don't want to keep them, she's like, you haven't played with them forever, and then she says to her friend, okay, we're gonna take them to this, like, land that we live in. So they go, and you see, like, all these characters she's come up with, and they're all very unique and very strange. And it's, like, it's just about, like, holding on to that, like, inner child. Yeah. And, like, it was...
Is this a TV show, or is this a...
It's a TV series. Oh, okay. It only ran for a season, though. I remember seeing the trailer for it and being like, this looks cute, and it didn't continue. But I've only seen the first episode, so I'm, like, interested to see where it goes. But it's also, like, it's so short, you want to, like, savor it. So yeah, that's 12 Forever on Netflix. It's very cute. I will show you a clip later. Okay. So you can see what it looks like.
Well, actually, to start off, I'm gonna ask you, what do you know about self-shipping, self-inserts? What's your experience level?
I mean, I've definitely written my share of, like, I guess, OC self-insert, and for those who don't know what that means, that's, like, an original character self-insert. So, like, you know, you write an original character and you give them your
let's talk about what self-insert is.
Yeah, so self-insert is, like, it could either, you said that's an umbrella.
It's an umbrella term. So basically, it refers to, like, basically any aspect of putting yourself into a fictional world. Okay. So this could be, like, your actual self, or it could be a character that you based off of yourself that you kind of project on. Again, it's a wide spectrum. The character that you base yourself on could be completely different from you. But it's still your guy. It's still your guy.
That's your guy.
It's your guy.
It's like a little avatar. Yeah.
So you said you've written a lot of OC self-inserts.
I've written some, like, OC self-inserts, like, in high school and college. And I've read, like, some X-Reader fanfic. And I do a lot of writing in my head and never writing it down. But that's about the extent I've gone. I have my characters that I like, and that I like to read fanfiction about. That includes myself, and that's it.
Would you like to share any of those characters with the class?
Let's see. I think it's only really been 2. I think it's just Dean Winchester. There's a lot of AUs for him. Mostly because, and that's also because, like, A, I like him. B, I don't really participate in any other shipping in Supernatural. Like, to me, it's not a romance show, so I just don't ship anybody with anybody. So, like, if I'm reading fanfiction, it's usually that. Bucky Barnes, obviously. There's a lot of AUs for him, too. So, like...
I didn't know you still ship with Bucky Barnes.
We're the same person. Basically...
Oh, so this is self-cess.
Basically, after Captain America and the Winter Soldier came out, or the show, the Falcon and Winter Soldier show, because I couldn't get a read on him for, like, a good long time. Like, he was kind of like a nothing burger to me for a while, and then that show came out, and I was like, we could have been rocking this whole time.
You're not rocking with me? I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah, so I really like him. We're both raven-haired, grumpy, too old for this, and we just
sometimes go heavy on the eyeliner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was just like, it's usually like people I like relate to. I find, I think those are the only 2. Like, I don't really go crazy. I think maybe I've read like a house like daughter one maybe once because I had not come across that.
Yes. Also. To clarify, self-inserts do not have to be romantic.
No, they don't.
They absolutely do not have to be romantic.
They could be platonic,
familial,
yeah. And they'll usually specify in the fanfiction. So, like, there are certain characters where, like, if I were to be in the world, I would much prefer to be in a, like, mentee figure. There's some I'd prefer romantic figure. There's some I'd prefer, like, we're friends. It just it depends on, like, what it is.
Yeah.
And who the character is, and like age and stuff plays into that a lot. But
yeah. For me, I have gone nuts with it before.
Yes, I know.
I have gone nuts with it before. I've been doing it like self-shipping on and off. I think that since I was like a kid, before I even knew what it was.
I mean, same. Yeah. Before you, like, you know, in your head, like before you knew there was like fan fiction and things for it.
No, that's how I found fanfiction for it. I was reading it at like little age.
No, for me it was like fully up in my brain.
No, I was on DeviantArt. At 12, which you should not be on DeviantArt at 12. You shouldn't be on DeviantArt nowadays anyways, and DeviantArt sucks now. But yeah, so I've always kind of basically, basically whenever I would get a special interest in a certain piece of media, I would usually end up creating my own OC or something to go in it.
Yeah.
Either that or I would just develop a crush on one of the characters in it. Usually some variety of either stupid or evil.
Yeah.
And I do sometimes, like, in passing, or with my friends, I'll refer to him as, like, yeah, my ex. Specifically, like, there's one character where I'll refer to him just like, yeah, it's my ex-husband who I keep running to at the grocery store, and he's still hot and funny.
See, I've had that with celebrity crushes.
Yeah.
Where I've, like, liked them for a really long time and gotten really obsessive, and then all of a sudden it's, like, a switch flips, and I'm just not into it anymore, so it's weird when they pop up. Yeah. I'm like, oh, weird, this is awkward, I know, like, everything about you, and I don't really care anymore.
Yeah. But like I was reading self-insert fanfiction. I was writing self-insert fanfiction, from like middle school onwards.
Okay.
On and off. And then I would kind of like dismiss it. I'm just like, it's not serious. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. And then I kind of locked in this year and I'm just like, oh, sometimes it can be that serious.
Yeah.
Specifically, I got really, really obsessed with a Fire Emblem character again. I have my keychain of him right here. It's Dimitri. And so I have my little self-insert OC so I have my little self-insert girl who I ship him with. I've written, like, the entirety of their lore. All of her relationships with all the other characters. Like, I have a stat sheet. I have a stat sheet for, like, if she was a unit in the game, I have a stat sheet for her. I even, like, I had to create an entire fictional place where she lives, within the country that it takes place in. But yeah, no, I kind of locked in that it was like the spring, like a late winter, early spring, where I'm just like, no, I'm actually gonna, like, lock in and, like, participate in kind of the community. I basically found community.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of encouraging, at least. Again, you say, like, you've done a lot of self-shipping, but have you, like, participated in, like, the community itself?
No.
Okay.
I've thought about writing, like, X reader stuff, so I don't have to, like, build a character. Because, like, I've got, like, little scenes and stuff in my head, and I'm like, oh, it could be fun to, like, write it down, and then I just never do. So that's, like, probably the extent I've thought about it. To me, it's just it's like a very, like, one-on-one thing. Like, it's just not...
Yeah.
And I'll go through phases. Like, I'm not really doing that right now. But...
Yeah. I'm not even, like, talking about, like, specifically, like, for your specific fandom, but more just, like, the community in general. Because there is a community out there where basically people are just like, yeah, this is my guy. This is my husband. He's a rescue. And people just, like, they'll just talk about specifically just how it feels to, like, fictional characters. So do you know anything about that kind of thing?
Like, I've written about, like, how it feels like to, like... When they just come across your dash and your just brain gets flooded with happy chemicals.
Yeah.
Like, I've talked about stuff like that, like, and I've gushed over characters and been like, oh my god, he's so cute. You know, like, stuff or, like, you know, he's so stupid, or I'm putting him in the microwave, or, you know, things like that. You know, like, the
I want to train him to my radiator.
I want to train him to my radiator. I mean, like, way back when it used to be, like, ovaries exploding. Like,
oh god, I'm so glad we have better terminology now.
I know, I'm so glad. I'm trying to remember what else would be, like, it was exploding ovaries was a thing that was a big when we were teenagers. Squee in general.
Squee, just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if there were, like, other terms.
Now we have, like, Blorbo, the character.
Yes.
We have Blorbo, the character, just various different ways to express distress. Sopping wet cat.
Yeah. It's just different ways to express specific... almost genre of character, because, like, the character means something very different from Blorbo from my shows.
So, I've always seen it as a diagram. So we have, like, the vertical axis, we have Blorbo at the top, and the character at the bottom, and then left and right is playing with my toys, and tormented by visions.
Yes. Yes.
So basically, you can put any character on that axis.
So I think Dean Winchester for me falls in the side of the axis where it's Blorbo, but also haunted by visions because of the way the show ended.
Yeah.
Bucky Barnes might be playing with toys just because it's, like, fun. And also, I do, like, self-insert stuff, but I also ship him with, like, multiple other people. Yeah. So, like, I'm like, it's playing with toys. It's smashing Barbies together, and sometimes I'm the Barbie.
Yeah.
This is so embarrassing.
Kill the Normie! Kill the Normie! Kill the Normie!
And then, if I had to do, like, the character haunted by visions, House is probably down there at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because, again, how that show ended. And, like, that relationship he was in was so... I can't ship House with anybody because the shit he had going on with Wilson was just so insane that you just can't. Like, and I enjoyed House and Cuddy. Yeah. But, like, nothing's gonna beat that.
Yeah.
It's insane. And then, yeah, like, then there's, like, I have, like, there's the self-ship characters, like, the ones that I like in different ways, and then there's the ones where I'm just like, that's me. That's me, though.
That's more King. We can talk about that another time.
Yeah, let's not get into that. We're already getting into self-shipping.
Oh my god, there's so much to talk about here with self-shipping. So you've never really been active in, like, let's say, the, like, Yume shipping, or, like the self-ship community, not necessarily X-Reader, but the self-ship community. You've never really been
involved. Like, Snape Wives?
We'll get into that.
Okay.
Snape Wives is a very, very extreme example before the community terms kind of came.
Did they have a church, or did I dream that up?
It was something, I don't know too much about the Snape Wives either. I know more about them in passing than anything else.
I know someone who wrote a play about Snape Wives. Yeah. We maybe should have them on as a guest.
Basically, Snape Wives were a bunch of women in, like, the early 2000s who were really obsessed with Severus Snape, saw him as a god, and, like, wanted to, like...
So there was, like, a church.
There was a churchish... There was a cultish aspect to it.
Yes.
Again, the only thing I'm judging them for is liking Harry Potter, but... I digress. This is before we found out J.K. Rowling is awful. But no, the self-shipping, Yume shipping community. So Yume shipping, a lot of, how do I word this? In the East, this kind of, like, fictional crushes, fictional, like, self-shipping is a much bigger thing over there.
Yeah.
So Yume shipping Yume means dream.
Okay.
And so, like, a Yume Joshi would be a dreaming girl, so a girl who dreams of the character.
Or her Blorbo.
So, like, Yume shipping basically refers to Yume Joshi, Yume Dachi, which is dreaming boys. And there's a huge culture over there of basically just, like, being obsessed over one specific character, getting all their merch, putting all their merch on a wall, carrying around bags of their merch, Ida bags, basically.
Okay.
And I have an Ida bag.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make a couple more. But, so it's basically, there's a lot of devotion culture in that side of the in that sphere of fandom. Which I think is now starting to bleed over into Western fandom, mostly in people who like Eastern media.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be people who like got certain gacha games. That could be people who like certain like JRPGs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where they kind of they're the ones buying the merch. Like for you like House.
Yeah.
Would you ever like? There wasn't like House fandom merch, like it was just like cute little keychains or anything like that.
No, and like everything I have like a corner that's like my house corner, because it's all the books on the show that I could find. I have the tennis ball that he has on his desk that's like branded.
Yeah.
But
not a lot of stuff with like his face.
No, and I had a shirt when I was in high school with his face on it. It was him holding like a human brain and it said use it, and I did wear it to the doctor one time. And it was Dr. Parnes, our pediatrician. And this is way, way back when, and he looked at it and he was like, do you want me to like call you an idiot or something? I like really appreciated the playing along. That was great. Like, cause I had like strep throat or something, so I was like just wearing like something comfortable.
Yeah. It's kind of like when I wore my Komida shirt to get my wisdom teeth taken out because I didn't care if it got blood on it. Because I think he would like it anyways, so...
That was not something I was concerned about when I got my wisdom teeth out.
I am always anxious all the time about everything, so... But yeah, so like in Western fandom, it's pretty uncommon to like do character-specific stuff. Like you won't have like pins with House's face on them, or...
I mean, House is not like that type of show. I'd say like the Marvel stuff probably would fall into that category because there's plenty of stuff
That's
like
true.
that.
That is true.
Like I've seen like Bucky Barnes earrings, Captain America earrings, like lots of pins. Like I've seen there's stuff for that. I think more in the comic book space rather than like your network television drama.
I also think it also has to do with the fact that it's a drawn medium rather than a live medium.
Yeah, like there's drawn options, like because sometimes it is clearly based off the films, but you can draw them because there's references.
Yeah. If we're talking about like anime fandom and stuff like that, merch is coming out all the time.
Oh, I was aware when we went to Kineticon. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, no, there's merch coming out all the time for all different characters. I mean, you've seen my figurine shelf.
Yes, I have.
Which has so many Mikeys from Tokyo Revengers.
See, you give me shit about like Funko Pops and stuff. That is what I have. That is it.
No, like the reason I give you shit about Funko Pops is because Funko Pops are ugly.
Listen, and I get very picky about what I choose to have as a Funko Pop, okay? Like, it's very specific characters that, like, I like and put on a pedestal. The ones where I have that I wouldn't pick for myself are usually gifts. But this is the thing, there's not always figurines of my characters, and sometimes the hyper-realistic figurines, especially with live-action characters, get creepy.
Yes,
I don't love it.
But it's just, in like Eastern fandom, this is just normal. Like, if an anime gets big enough, you're waiting for the figurines to drop. You're waiting for the buttons to drop. You're waiting for the keychains. And there's going to be dozens and dozens and dozens of different designs per character, depending on how popular a show is. Usually, especially with anime and stuff, merch is what drives sales and popularity rather than the actual viewership.
Yeah. I mean, you could think about that, like, here for, like, musicians.
That is true.
Yeah.
And actually, so a lot of the Eastern culture of, like, Ida bags and what is specifically called, like, gachikoi, which is, like, really, really standing a character to above all else.
Can we talk about what standing is for those who don't know? I would hope if you're listening to this podcast, you know what standing is.
Standing is like...
Standing was pulled from the Eminem song, Stan.
It was pulled from the Eminem song, Stan. I would also been told that, like, Stalker fan people used it as. So those are, like, the kind of the two origins of it. I don't know the Eminem song that well.
Which is about, like, a crazy fan who, like, feels betrayed by the object of his affection and, like, plots to kill him.
Yeah.
Can I tell you what I thought standing was?
What?
So this is really bad. So there was an episode of South Park that was making fun of the Livestrong bracelets. And Stan was the face of that, and it was, what do you stand for? I seriously thought Stan came from the South Park episode.
You were so, like, adult animation pilled for some reason. We're putting that aside. I'm picking that up, I'm putting it in a box, and I'm putting it aside. But yeah, so a lot of like gachikoi culture and that whole eat a bag and collecting like a whole bunch of merch for your characters, basically making shrines to characters, a lot of that came out of underground idol culture in Japan. Where basically people would print out like photos of their favorite like underground idols and stuff like that, make pins of them. Like it was a lot of handmade work.
Yeah.
And a lot of it still is
a friend of mine in high school used to make like homemade for Homestuck specifically.
Yeah.
Would make like homemade magnets and things.
Yeah. But even nowadays, like a lot of gachikoi culture is a lot of handmade work. A lot of handmade work, a lot of basically buying photo cards and then making pretty little frames for them, making pins. People make rosettes and they're like, I'm like, that looks easy. And they're like, it takes you like an hour to make a simple one. And I'm like, oh, okay. But so a lot of that kind of like consumer stan culture comes from a lot of that Eastern fandom side of things.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, because I've been seeing like even like with the K-pop stuff, like Western artists are now kind of utilizing those same marketing practices.
Yeah. But that can also tie into consumerism, which is like a topic for another day. But a lot of people like show their devotion to their favorite characters by buying all the merch. I mean, I missed the deadline to buy the Dimitri figurine, the only Dimitri figurine. Not the only one in existence, but the only time to buy it until they re-release it. Even though it's like $250. It's a good figurine, like it's a decent figurine, but like I'm so mad I missed the pre-order period. This was back when I had a job. But yeah, so like people will buy merch to show their devotion and all that kind of stuff. And then there's the creative aspect of it, which is the ex-reader fanfiction, which is the...
Or like fan art.
Fan art, yes.
Yeah.
So there's multiple aspects to like showing your devotion to your ship and stuff like that. Where a lot of people tend to draw the line, a lot of people think it's weird, is when people talk about specifically stuff like fictosexuality, fictophilia. Which people do, like the people who are in that community take very, very seriously.
Can you define that for the audience, please?
So, fictosexuality, fictoromanticism, fictophilia. Fictophilia is kind of like the clinical term for it, which is basically just a love for fictional characters and a connection to fictional characters. Whereas fictosexuality and fictoromanticism, a lot of people in the community consider it a form of asexuality and aromanticism.
Interesting.
Where basically they're like, I am not attracted to real life people, but I am attracted to this.
Oh, wait, you know what? I feel like I saw it in it was a different name, but yeah. I think I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of people who are in those communities who are just be like, yeah, like, I've been in love with this fictional character for 10 years, and I consider us married. Like, they're like, we have rings, I have rings, I celebrate my anniversary, like, they're like, I'm perfectly happy with this relationship that I have. Again, a lot of these people seem very, very happy with their relationships. There are certain people who are just like, I don't know how to tell my boyfriend that I also really like this fictional character. Or there's also people who are just like, my boyfriend's totally fine with me liking this fictional character. Or my partner's fine with it. Or they're like, I don't want a partner. I'm fine with this fictional relationship. And again, that can also tie into discussions of asexuality itself, where a lot of people are just be like, well, why don't you get a real relationship type things.
Yeah, and they'd be like, but I don't feel any desire for that. I'm happy with this.
Yeah. Which is a whole discussion on its own.
Yeah.
The most extreme version of it, which is something like, I'm gonna say this, and some of you are going to automatically cringe when I say this, it's called waifuism. Waifu is basically a Japanese pronunciation of the word wife.
Yep.
And basically waifuism, semi-religious, it's waifuism is basically a very, very extreme version of kind of the fictosexuality community, where they're basically like, I am only devoted to this one character and I do not swap.
Oh.
It's all about basically...
It's like fictional monogamy.
Fictional monogamy, yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Where they're basically just like, they're like, I only want to talk about Makima from Chainsaw Man. I am married to Makima from Chainsaw Man and I am not dating anyone else. I won't even date real people. That's also like a huge thing with waifuism. They're like, if you're in any sort of real romantic relationship, you're not a waifuist because you're not dedicated. You're not dedicated enough.
Yeah, that does have like religious undertones.
It's a very, very strict community. It's not a community I necessarily fall into, but I'm just like, if you're happy with this, like, I'm not going to.
If it's not, I mean, like, and I think we also need to point out, because like when we were doing research for this. There have been studies into this behavior.
Yeah.
None of it has been found to be considered a disorder.
Yes.
And we will link some stuff below, but yes, there is not... This may seem strange it has not been classified as dangerous or harmful.
Yeah. The issue with, like, when it comes to fictional romanticism and when it comes to, like, this kind of obsession with fictional characters, the issue more you can fall into is a dissociative symptoms, where basically you fall so far into a fictional rabbit hole that you just start disregarding reality. And that is in very, very rare cases. The other big issue is chatbots. If I feel, at least. This is my opinion.
My opinion, this is not based in science.
This is not based in science. Take it with a grain of salt, take it as you will. But things like character AI, or like ChatGPT. Which again, ChatGPT like doesn't really fall under self-shipping as much, but it's...
Yeah, because that's a little bit more of you're molding kind of an original thing there.
When it comes to like character AI though, the Character AI is a website where you can talk to basically chatbots for basically any fictional character you can think of.
And they've been trained on the thing.
They've been trained on the thing. A lot of them have been trained on fan works without people's consent.
Oh, interesting.
Because basically they'll basically just feed whatever into it.
See, if I were someone who was into Character AI, I'd be like, well, what if the fan work didn't get them correct?
Yeah, because I have... What if the fan work is wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, and the thing about Character AI is we don't like it if we don't like AI, and just the energy levels that AI takes and all that kind of stuff.
And there have been, like, we're not going to get super into this, but there have been people being like, oh, it doesn't actually take up as much water. They're actually trying to do more with renewable energy because of AI, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of other issues to tackle here, and that's a whole other episode in itself that we probably will never do because it really isn't relevant.
We're not energy experts, we're not technology experts. We have our opinions on this.
Yeah.
The issue I have with Character AI is, again, when you head into a parasocial territory, which, again, the dissociative symptoms of... Like,
also, Character AI has, like... Because you can make your own. So there's, like,
you can make
real people.
There are real people on Character AI. And again, like, there's some people who ship themselves with real people. K-pop stans.
I don't want to get into
looking
that.
at you, not judging, but looking. But the thing about Character AI is that when in my personal experience with self-shipping and stuff like that, when I'm having conversations with the character, it's in my head.
Oh, yeah.
It is in my head or it is written out. I'm using, like, creative skills to do this. And it also kind of also gives me a separation from I'm not letting down a real person. Which, again, is something we can talk about with self-shipping. But with Character AI, because you're divorced from what the AI is saying, it's basically just... Again, it can feel like you're talking to a real person.
Oh, yeah.
It is very, very... It's a lot easier to get attached. Whereas, like, if I wanted to go into Fire Emblem 3 Houses and say hi to Dimitri, I can always turn that off, and I know that he's basically going to say the same pre-programmed thing. And then I imagine in my head that he's saying something different. But with Character AI, it's like, he's always going to be there. And you can always go back to him, and he's always going to say something different. There's a line blurring effect, which, again, a lot of people have fallen prey to, where they're just like, I'm addicted to Character AI, and I can't stop. Like, I've spent 8 hours a day on Character AI. And a lot of these ads and stuff for Character AI are also being directed towards, like, teenagers. Who, again, it's a very, very vulnerable time for teenagers.
I mean, I've seen, like, Character AI ads where they've used actual celebrity images to, like, bring them in. Like, like I've seen a Henry Cavill one, like, multiple times recently. And I've been like, why? I was like, that's a real person, though.
That's
like,
a human person.
And also, you do run into copyright problems when it is real people, especially celebrities. I've seen... There was a Supernatural account I followed that did a really good job of sort of collecting all the news in one place. And they started advertising Character AI Sam Winchester specifically. And obviously, as someone who is an actor and understands, like, how lax AI protections are for actors, I'm like, that's not cool, because Jared Padalecki did not agree, that I know of, did not agree to be portrayed, and it's his voice synthetically, like that kind of stuff. Like,
well, I think it also depends
messed with my head a bit.
I think it also depends on what chatbots you're using, because I don't think all of them have a vocal component.
This one was Character AI.
Yeah,
they were specifically advertising that. I think they got, like, a paid promotion to do so.
But it's just there's a lot of it's a slippery, for me, that's a slippery slope.
That's a very slippery slope.
When it comes to, like...
Well, there was the instance where all the Harry Potter stuff got removed because of...
And people started crashing out
because of
it.
copyright, and everybody crashed out about it, and I'm pretty sure, it's all reinstated at this point.
It is all reinstated.
Because then they'd lose traffic, because Harry Potter, unfortunately, is still pretty massively popular.
Well, I saw people crashing out about the fact that basically just their characters were gone.
Yeah.
And... Again, that's... You won't have to deal with that if it's all up here in your head.
All up here in your head. They can't steal your thoughts.
Can't steal my thoughts. Yet.
I want that... If we make merch, I want a t-shirt that says, you can't steal my thoughts.
You can't steal my thoughts. Yet. But... Yeah, with character AI, I just... That is... Like, we've talked about this before. Like, that is something that, when we were very lonely in high school, we could have fallen very
easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's it's just a part that I just really don't like about it. The other thing that I don't like when we're talking about, like, companies preying on parasocial relationships, gacha games, which
is Love in Deep Space considered?
Love in Deep Space is a gacha game.
Okay.
Because we were talking about Love in Deep Space earlier, but I'm also thinking things like Genshin Impact, where a lot of these games kind of build themselves on having very, very fun, relatable characters you can spend adventures with, if only you spend money. If you spend your money, you can get this cool character and they'll love you forever. If you spend money. And the game's free, but you can spend money. Love in Deep Space, I feel like, is the most predatory of this. And this isn't even me saying, like, women's sexuality, bad. Because a lot of these gachas beforehand have also, like, just really, really catered towards men. And a lot of these, like, dating simulation games and stuff like that, which a lot of men get really into. A lot of the really immersive stuff is for men. Love in Deep Space is kind of the first immersive dating sim for women. It is also a gacha game. It also tracks your period.
Oh, that's weird.
You can turn it on if you want. I personally am just like, I don't know what you're doing with that data, so no, I don't even play the game. I won't even play the game. But
no.
Love in Deep Space, the whole thing is that there's 4 hot guys, and you can dress them up in little outfits, and they'll love you. The closest equivalent I've ever experienced with it was this game from, like, 2016 called Mystic Messenger, which basically the entire premise of Mystic Messenger was you were invited into a chat room with these hot people, who have, like, this kind of weird, there's this weird mystery going on, but it's done in real time. So they could call you at, like, 2 in the morning and just being like, hey, this thing's going on. And if you want to advance the story, you have to make sure that you are up at those times.
Oh.
There was, like, premium currency you could use to, like, pay to, like, rewatch stuff that you missed. But a lot of it was, like, you have to be up at 2 a.m. There was kids who would, like, there was girls who were just like, yeah, I left class to go take a Mystic Messenger call.
Wow.
I never got as into the game as that, but I did play.
I mean, I appreciate, like, an immersive element to things, but that's the fact that there's no way to opt out unless you pay money. That's a little sketchy.
I've also heard that the story's pretty good. I liked the characters well enough. I wasn't as dedicated to it as a lot of other people are, because I like doing things at my own pace. I'm lazy.
Yeah.
Love in Deep Space feels kind of like the next step of that, where it's like the guys are just kind of like, they're always there for you, and you can always talk to them, and you can always, like, they're tracking your fucking period for some reason. Apparently there's a story involved
With your...
Not with your period, not with your period.
Oh, okay, I was like, are you trying to get pregnant?
There's a story involved with the guys, but I don't know what the story is. I don't know what the story is. All I know is that, like, there's the one that's a doctor, there's the cute one, there's the...
One has a job, one is hot.
No. There's the cute one, then there's the hot one, who has the same hair color as the doctor.
There's a cute one and a hot one?
Lindsey, this is Eastern fandom. There's always a cute one and a hot one.
Okay.
There's the doctor, the cute one, the hot one,
there are 4
and
genders.
the bad boy.
There's 4 genders.
I don't remember all their
One,
names.
the doctor and the bad boy.
I don't remember all their names. I just know that, like, if I ended up playing it, I would probably lock in on the doctor character. I just know that that would be my guy. But, like, those are the only characters. But it's such a big thing right now. I think it outsold, like, one of the Pokemon games, Pokemon mobile games recently for monthly earnings, which is, like, a huge deal. Because those things make bank. I also chose women as an untapped market in gacha spaces.
That's true. I mean, I think people don't realize women spend money. Women spend money on the things that they, I know the sexist thing is women be shopping, but women be shopping. But women be shopping.
Women be shopping. Yeah.
It doesn't mean just clothes and shoes.
Yeah, and that's the thing about gacha games in particular, because one of the things I don't like about gacha games is basically gacha games are very, very gender segregated, or they tend to be. They either lean towards a male audience, or they lean towards a female audience. Mm-hmm. And the ones that lean towards a female audience tend to be lower quality. Love and Deep Space is, like, the first, like, highly immersive, like, AAA gacha experience for women. Mm-hmm. Whereas something like Genshin Impact, even if they have male characters, most of it's, you're gonna see hot women with their tits out. Mm-hmm. And then with, like, something like Love Live, that's also, like, you're collecting cards of pretty girls. It's supposed to be for guys. Mm-hmm. So, a lot of, it's very divided, and when we talk about self-shipping, a lot of self-shipping, when we think about it, the community itself, is very, very female and gender diverse. Mm. When we talk about, like, waifuism, like, that's men. Mm-hmm. And, again, a lot of it comes from the same root kind of loneliness. Yeah. Again, male loneliness epidemic, if we want to talk about that, but it's everyone! It is everyone. Everyone's lonely right now. Mm-hmm. So, like, when we talk about fictional relationships and having relationships with fictional characters, it comes from the same place, but it's treated differently. Mm-hmm. Whereas men kind of... What we need to talk about, like, self-inserts in books, in TV shows, in movies, where it's like the protagonist is a blank slate for you to project onto. Yeah. So, like, the quintessential version is Twilight.
Yes, they do. I mean, people are huge fans of Twilight. Mm-hmm. We can clearly say, like, and it was being said when the book was mm-hmm. really, really popular, like, Bella is a blank slate. She's meant to be projected onto. I don't think I've ever seen people discuss Bella as a character. Mm. It's usually Edward or other characters that get discussed.
She is a female power fantasy. Mm. In a sense. Mm-hmm. And again, it depends on what you're into. But again, there's also dark romance and stuff. Those are also female power fantasies where there's a lot of them where... some of them, again, are more fleshed out characters, but there's a lot of them where it's just you're meant to just kind of insert yourself into it mm-hmm. and then get, ravished by the men. Yeah. Where we talk about, like, a male power fantasy, like, the first thing that comes to my mind is literally, like, any harem anime. Where it's just, like, very, very mediocre guy, usually with dark hair, mm-hmm. and just, like, the most neutral features known to man. Mm-hmm. Fawned over by a bunch of hot women.
Well, there's also, like, even just, like, on the Western side, like, mm-hmm. every action movie. Yeah. Yeah. Like, the only reason why we're not doing harem stuff is because it's the West. Yeah. But, like, it's... Mm. Yeah, like, I feel like that would be a thing here if it was a little bit more widely accepted. Like, yeah.
It's... The self-insert is, like, the power fantasy self-insert mm-hmm. is so different from a male to female side. Female side, usually, she just wants, like, a partner. Mm-hmm. Not to say that we can't dream bigger, ladies. We can dream bigger. Mm-hmm. Well,
with women, it's usually, like, wanting to be taken care of, because women mm-hmm. take care of things.
Yes.
Like...
Don't worry, kitten, I've got this.
Yeah, it's actually, I've seen takes where people are like, it's not, let me do this for you, it's, I can do it myself. They're like, yeah, I know, and I will be here to support you while you do the thing yourself. Mm-hmm. And occasionally there are instances where where they can just be like, don't worry about it for once. Yeah. Like, don't worry about it. Like, it's...
And I would love that.
Like, I've noticed, like, with any kind of, like, because romance novels, like, I'll read them, like, once in a while. Yeah. And I do like the protagonist who's, like, incredibly driven mm-hmm. and pretty hyper-independent mm-hmm. finally getting a situation where the guy is like, can you just, like, not in a, like, oh, you need to relax kind of way, but in a, like, I've got this. You don't have to, like, think about it for 5 minutes. Yes. Like, I think that's... I can't do... Like, I can't do certain other ones.
Yeah. I mean... The irony here is that there is sort of a similar fantasy with guys. There's this one meme that kept floating around for a bit where it's like, men have two fantasies. Mm. Come on, men, let's go into glorious battle until one of us stands. Mm-hmm. Let's go. And then the other fantasy is, you're a good boy. I have you. Don't worry about it.
So it's mom or war?
It's mom or war! It is mom or war.
It's mommy or war.
But also, like, women have the same power fantasy of, don't worry about it. I can take care of this for you.
Yeah.
And not necessarily in, like, a protective, in, like, you're stupid, like, or, like, let me handle it. Mm-hmm. But in more of a, like, I got
more of a, I recognize that is a mental load, let me hold it.
Yeah. And so men have the same thing with women.
Yeah.
But again, like, the gender dynamics at play here is that women are expected to take on that mental load. Mm-hmm. And basically, there are certain types of men who will just push it onto women every time. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, I was explaining to my friend who, she's a woman, but she really, really likes harem anime because she's a lesbian and she loves women. And I'm just like, I can't get into it because I'm just like, I don't like I don't like being seen as the fantasy. I want to be in the fantasy.
Yeah.
And she's just like, well, I see myself as in the fantasy, which is why I like it. Like, I project on the male character. I want to be fawned over by the women. And I'm just like, nuance, okay.
Nuance, okay. Yeah.
Nuance, okay. But there's such a different dynamic when it comes to self-shipping with guys versus women. It also can be seen in, like, the art that is done for women versus men. Whereas, like the art that's aimed towards men of women, usually there's a little more sex appeal to it. There's a little more flirtation to it. And again, this could also be the fact that, like, women are told, like, you don't get to have sex appeal. Like, you don't get to desire. Mm-hmm. Women don't get to desire, which is why they don't do a lot of... I mean, I've seen some pretty hot art, Dimitri, I will say that.
I've seen some, like, pretty spicy art.
But, like, if you're looking for, like, female characters that are really, really liked for men, if you're looking for their fan art, it's usually tits out.
Yep.
Like, that's just how it is. And again, it also has to do with the fact that, like, men do a lot of media. Like, they just make a lot of popular media because patriarchy, misogyny, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. But it also ties into the fact that, like, this is just, like, a funny tangent. There's this character called Bayonetta. She's a video game character. She is very mommy-dommy. Like, I will step on you. I will beat you up. Like, undresses in front of you, but she's just like, no, you don't get to, like,
look or whatever. Yeah.
And it's not even, like, an embarrassed way. She's just like, you're not deserving of it. It's like that. The creator of Bayonetta was getting really, really mad that people were making her a submissive in art. Oh. Because he's just like, I don't care if you draw porn of her, but she's not as fucking submissive.
That's actually...
and so, like, all the fan artists went, like, you got it, boss, and then they fixed that right away.
It's their own, like, Hawkeye initiative.
Yeah. We love Bayonetta in this household. Also, she was designed by a woman.
Oh, okay.
So, literally one of the horniest women alive that I've seen. But we love Bayonetta. But yeah, the fantasies for men and women are very, very different. And men don't really do, like, the self-insert fanfic thing.
No,
Not that I've seen.
Fanfic has always been a women and gender non-conforming space.
Mm. Yeah, because, like, I've seen a lot of, like, trans fanfiction. I've seen a lot of female-led fanfiction. And there's been a lot of complaining in, like, X-Reader and self-spaces where they're, like, sometimes when people say gender neutral, they really mean female. Mm-hmm. Like, they'll just write you, like, as a female, even though they say you're gender neutral, and they're like, it doesn't work for me. There's been, like, gay male X-Reader people who are just like, yeah, I have trouble reading X-Reader fic because most of them write you as a woman.
Yeah. I've seen, like, some pop up where they specify specifically that it is a gay male. Mm-hmm. I don't come across a lot of, like, trans reader stuff, but also I think in my fandoms it's not prevalent. Mm-hmm. I don't think that doesn't mean that there's, like, community in there. It's just not catered to. Or I think I can't know for sure because it's Tumblr, but like, I am assuming the ones that I do read are cis women. Yeah, I would assume. Mm-hmm. Because I don't think, because it's like, it's one of those things when it's a fanfiction blog, they don't really post, like, their gender or anything. It's just like, this is my blog and this is the master post of all the people I write for. Yeah. And
But it's always, like, fanfiction has always been a female-dominated space, a gender non-conforming dominated space as well.
And a queer space.
Usually when I think of, like, male-written fanfiction for, like, self-insert things, I think of a lot of, like, doujin works, which is basically self-published works in Japan, usually comics. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot of, not safe for work stuff. So that's usually what I think of when I think of those and again, maybe I'm not looking in the right places. Maybe there are very, very sweet. I mean,
to be fair, like, self-insert fanfiction written by men could just be called books over here.
That's true. But
it could just not be,
But if we're talking about stuff that is, like, copyrighted characters,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be different.
Yeah.
But again, you can also have, like, there's certain people who are just like, yeah, they're this writer on this, like, TV show basically wrote themselves into the show. Like, there was, like, a really prominent example from, like, the new Powerpuff Girls, where, like, one of the main writers had, like, a self-insert character who, like, Blossom was in love with. It was a little weird, I will say. But, yeah, no, like, men do get a little bit more leeway with this kind of stuff, but they're also kind of made a mockery more. I do think when some stuff comes to light. Like, when I think of, like, a lot of, like, when people think of, like, waifu things, there are certain photos that will pop up. Certain, like, self-insert photos that will pop up. Like, the people who have badly edited anime characters next to themselves. And I do feel bad for those men. I don't really think that, like, they should be made fun of for that kind of thing.
Listen, I did that. Like, listen, I did that in high school.
Yeah.
A lot of Doctor Who stuff. I would edit myself into, like, posters and things. But that was more, like, dreaming of being on the show.
Yeah,
but, like,
that's different.
Yeah.
So, like, I will say, I'm sympathetic towards men sometimes. And there's also, like, even when it comes to, like, romances, not everything's written with women in mind, even in, like, a gender-neutral romance territory. There was a prominent screenshot that kept getting spread around for some video game, I forget what it was, but someone just, like, they did not take into account that someone would pick the female protagonist because one of the characters says, you're into, like, pretty ladies, aren't you? To the female protagonist, when it's very clearly, like, this is meant for male. This is meant for a male.
This is for male dialogue.
Or you're just confirming she's bisexual!
Yeah.
Or, like, even when bisexual romance options do exist, there has sometimes been a tendency where female characters get more options because girl on girl is hot.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to think about the dirty gay men romancing certain characters. This happened with Mass Effect in particular. Where I think one of the characters where they're basically just like, I don't want my character to romance a guy, even though this character is planned to be romanceable for guys. And so basically they just cut the game romance, and the male protagonist just didn't have a male romance.
So we can also talk about, like, because, I mean, we're talking about, like, it's the interaction aspect that's, like, really doing it, and, like, depending on even how it's done, it can be very effective. We did, like, do a little look into the mental health aspects of fictional characters, and there have been actually, like, many, many studies done that having a emotional reaction or connection to something that is fictional is actually a healthy thing to do. That is actually, like, helpful. It's especially, like, for teenagers and kids, because it helps them define their identity and, like, what they like in a person and who they do want to be, who they don't want to be.
Fictional characters can be a very, very good measuring stick. For any sort of relationship or any sort of, like, goal. Obviously, not everyone is going to be Naruto.
We can't all be Naruto.
But we can sure believe it. But you can still be encouraged by certain, not everyone can be Rumi from K-pop Demon Hunters, but you can be encouraged by her honesty. You can be encouraged by her, like, drive to do good.
You can really want Korra's arms.
You can really want Korra's arms.
Which is what I went after.
And then, like, in relationships, you can find characters that you really like. I really like Camilla from Fire Emblem, and I like the fact that she's really, really kind and she's really, really supportive of her partners. And I'm like, that's what I want in a relationship. But the boobs also help.
You're really undercutting your argument here.
But it helps. But I'm doubling down. But yeah, so, like, it's good to have these kind of relationships. There's even been studies that show, like, someone watching a show with a diverse cast makes them feel better about minorities, even if they don't have friends who are minorities in real life. Because being able to just see them portrayed as normal people makes them feel better about, like...
Well, they talk about something like Modern Family.
Yeah.
Like, helped. And, like, Modern Family, like, looking at that now, that is not, like, the touchstone of gay representation. But the fact that, like, it was portrayed perfectly normally, and...
Or even going back further, Will and Grace.
That's true.
Yeah,
Will and Grace. And Will and Grace, I've been rewatching a little bit of Will and Grace recently because it's funny. But there are some very outdated things in Will and Grace. But the fact that it's just portrayed as normal. And, like, the fact that the gay culture was included in the writing and all of that stuff, like, definitely helps give you insight, especially if you are not part of that community. I think it also helped that Will was played by a straight guy, but like, you know.
Or like something like Spider-Verse, there's a lot of good portrayals of like the Afro-Latina community.
Yeah.
Or various different, like, especially with all the different spiders across the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah, like there's plenty to choose from there. Like, I mean, like even like Supernatural, which started out with its portrayal of women specifically, started very narrow. Because like that was a guy, that was supposed to be a guy show. Let's be perfectly honest, that was supposed to be a guy show. I don't think they were ever aiming for women at all, and that's what happened. And the female characters in the really early seasons are kind of proof of that. They're, you know, hot and one-dimensional, and they
die.
Then they die, and they're usually, most of like the female characters are villains in the early seasons. It's only not until maybe halfway through the series do we start to get like varied female characters in different types of roles. We get Sheriff Jody and oh my gosh, I'm forgetting her name. Brianna Buckmaster's character, Donna. So, like, these two older women who, like, take on these kind of, like, caretaker roles.
Yeah.
But are specifically, not just towards the two main guys, but you get the Wayward Sisters group, so the young girls who are coming into this story. So you get Claire Novak and Christy Chambers, who wasn't really part of that group, but I would have loved if she was. But, like, these, like, younger girls who are in maybe poor situations or, like, who are coming out of here and they're fierce and they're angry and they're, like, you know, all this stuff. In varying races. And, like, things got better diversity-wise. We had a deaf character, like, who got fridged, which was not fun. And then they brought her back, and then we had to put her back because they were like, she can't be alive. It's not allowed. But they did get better with that, and I think, like, it was nice to connect to that show more than just the two guys. Like, I was like, yeah, that's great. Like, and I mean, we're taught to relate to male characters because we're taught that that's the default. Yeah. But I loved Claire Novak. I loved her so much. Like, I related, like, she helped me, like, a lot through college years and stuff, especially because I was, like, by myself and wasn't used to, like, navigating a city alone and, like, going off by myself and, like, just navigating the world. And here she was traveling on her own, and we were the same age. So it's, yeah.
Well, it also can tie into, like, the fact that, like, people can also just see fictional characters as, like, in their head just as friends.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, you could be, like, hanging out and just be like, oh, man, I think the character would like this.
Oh, I have that all the time.
Yeah, no, me too.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh, man, they would love this. Like,
the character would love this.
Yes.
Actually, like, one of my favorite comic artists did a comic where they're just like, I have, like, what's his name? Oscar Wilde. They're like, there was one time I was really overwhelmed in Vegas, so I'm just imagining I'm showing Oscar Wilde everything.
Yes, I've seen this post.
Yeah. And I'm just like, that's what it feels like. That is what it feels like.
It just feels like having, like, a companion there. Like, I've had, like, moments, like, especially, like, in my early 20s when I was, like, very, very lonely and, like, just kind of, like, going through life. I would have, like, just visions of them sort of just walking behind me.
Yeah.
We weren't doing anything. I would just have, like, visions of them just behind me. They're just there while I'm walking to work or something. And it is comforting. It is, like, an imaginary friend. And, like, nobody, like, looks at a kid with an imaginary friend and thinks, like, that's a problem.
No.
I think it's more the adults stuff where people are, like, I think people assume that we're supposed to grow out of that.
And here's the thing, though. The issue with disorders, like dissociative disorders, schizophrenic spectrum disorders, dissociative, again, I already said dissociative disorders.
Did you dissociate?
Yeah, I dissociate. Dissociative disorders as well. But the issue with those is the fact that they are disruptive. That's what makes them disorders.
Yes.
If something is not disruptive, if it's not affecting your social life, if it's not affecting your work life, if it's not affecting your home life, it's not a disorder, it's just a coping mechanism.
It's a coping mechanism. Also, I think it's, like, creative people, I think, maybe experience it more. Neurodivergent people, I think, experience it more. I think there's also this aspect of, like, people talk a lot about how, like, adults still need play. Fandom is play. Like, this kind of stuff, to me...
We're playing with our toys!
We're playing with our toys. But it's, like, playing pretend. And I think people think that is... So, like, when I was younger and I wanted to be an actor, it was literally because I was like, well, I don't want to grow up and have to stop playing pretend. I want to be in the story.
Yeah.
That was literally all I wanted. So, and I was like, acting is the quickest way to do that. I get to put on the costume and be in the story. Then there's a bunch of other shit that goes along with that that I don't like. But it's, you know, it's things like that.
Or like, I wanted to write the stories. I wanted to make the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have control over it. Yeah. Like things like that. Like the movies and TV and books and all that stuff. Like being able to live or have a part of it. Or like, I remember when we used to go see musicals, like if I would go to the merch table and there was like a recreation of a prop. That's what I would choose.
You have a bunch of like recreations of the Rose from Beauty and the Beast too.
I just have the one.
Oh.
I just have
I mean, you still have the
I still have it. I just have the one. I've never purchased one for myself before. That was a gift. But I have like, when we went to see Mary Poppins, I have the Mary Poppins umbrella. Because I was like, well, I want to be able to like reenact the scene. I've got the monkey from Phantom. I've got a mask from Phantom. Like, I liked having a piece of the world. I love a replica.
You love a replica.
I love a replica. I don't have the space to like go as nuts as I would love. Like, I would love a Captain America shield.
The unfortunate thing about replicas for my fandoms is that they are crazy expensive.
Oh, they're crazy expensive for me too.
I am not getting a replica of the Levin sword from Fire Emblem because that's going to be insane. Also, if it actually shot electricity, I think that would count as a firearm.
Yeah. Well, I have like I have an angel blade from Supernatural.
Yeah, you carry it around as an actual weapon.
Yeah, because I don't have like pepper spray or anything. Well, I do have pepper spray, but I just feel more confident with the pointy thing. But it's not sharp. But listen, if I hit someone hard enough with it, it's solid metal. I like it. It takes like an angel blade and it turns into like an angel knife because it's like half the size. I just love it. And it's heavy and it feels real. It doesn't feel like a toy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's all about play.
It's about play. And you want the experience to be as immersive as possible. It's like why people go to the Ren Fair. Yeah. It's why I went to the Phantom of the Opera.
Go to conventions. It's why people cosplay.
Yeah, it's like getting to just kind of like walk around in the shoes for a little bit. Like literally. That's why like the Phantom of the Opera thing was so fucking fun. I was like, that's what I wanted. I said, I don't even know if I wanted to be Christine or whoever. I loved the fact that I was just there physically. And I thought, it was going to be a very, you're immersive, but I thought there was still going to be very much a fourth wall. And there wasn't. They were really involving you in the story, which I loved. And even, like, when we go to theme parks, like, I love that shit, too, because you're in the story. You're part of it. They treat you as part of it. Yeah. Love that shit. Like,
the only thing that sucks is when I go to a part of a theme park that I don't care about. Talking about the Star Wars land.
No, I don't mind a Star Wars land. Just because it's really immersive. And
it is very, very immersive. I just don't care about Star Wars. It is well done. I just can't bring myself to care.
Are you going to enjoy the villains world when it opens?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But, yeah, so it's, again, adults need play, but, like, when it starts interfering with real relationships and stuff.
Yeah, that's where you run into problems.
That's where you run into problems. Where, like, in the self-shipping, Yume shipping community, there is the whole concept of what a non-sharer is. Non-sharer is basically someone who's just like, I have my guy. I don't want to see anyone else with him.
Yeah.
And, like, there's two flavors of this. There is, I don't want to see anyone else with him, so I'm just going to block you. Like, I'm not going to interact with you. I'm just going to block you.
Like, they take responsibility for their experience.
Responsibility for themselves. And then there are people who are just like, you do not deserve to have Raymond on your island. I expect to see him in boxes by tomorrow. There's those types of people who basically will harass others for not liking them. Or for liking them.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm just like, no, that's where it's affecting real people. And you don't have control over what other people do. You have control over yourself and your environment, but you don't have control over what...
And personally, like, when people are like... Because there's that running joke, I feel like, whenever fandom is portrayed in the media, it's always like, he's mine, kind of thing. And I don't think that is, like, really how it goes down. Obviously, there's, like, the non-sharers. But, like, I was telling you before, I said, I don't think I could ever be like that, because to me, like, that... The character in my mind is my interpretation of the character. Other people who may, read self-insert fanfiction or whatever for, Bucky Barnes or Dean Winchester, I'm like, they see him differently than I do. Yeah. And there are things that they may think are true that maybe I don't agree with. So I'm like, to me, it's not like we're sharing. We just have two different versions. So it's like infinite universes. So I never feel possessive in that way.
I feel possessive because I am a selfish bitch. So I will block liberally.
I mean, like, listen, there are some times where people will just make an asinine take and I will block you.
And for me, it also depends on the character, because, like, there are certain characters where I'm just like, yeah, we can share, and then there's certain characters where I'm just like, what are you doing in my house?
Yeah, I mean, they're like, occasionally I will have, like, if the take is really bad,
yeah.
I will have a, you don't deserve him, and block him.
Yeah.
Like, but I will never be out here starting fights over a fake person. Like,
no, that's pixels. It's pixels. It is lines on a page. It is an actor in a costume.
Yep. It's not real.
Yeah. That's the point where I draw the line. Or if it's at the point where, like, you're having psychotic episodes or something like that. And again, like, that's something you talk to your therapist about. I can't be the one to tell you you're having psychosis. I have no psych degree. I have no degree at all, actually.
Well, it's when you have to think about, like, even, like, real people shipping as well. That's, and again, like, real people fanfic, all that stuff, I will not stop you from doing it. I do draw a line there. I do not interact with it. I do not, that's the kind of stuff. But there are people who really genuinely believe they are in relationships with real people. Yeah. When they are not, when this person doesn't even know they exist.
Yeah, that, once it gets into, like, delusional territory, I mean, like, there's a difference between, like, having a crush on Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And, like, thinking you were in an actual relationship over her
I have stumbled across accounts
Mm.
where these people genuinely believe they are in a relationship with her. I always report them when I see them because they get crazy.
Mm.
Like, it's constantly, like, when she was with Joe Alwyn, like, there was somebody just going absolutely crazy. Because I was in the Taylor Swift tag, and this person just happened to be freaking the fuck out and tagging it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've reported it multiple times because I'm just like, look, this seems sketchy, and, you know, obviously multiple stalkers and all that stuff.
And the thing is, like, that actually is, it's much more common for that behavior in Eastern Idol culture, where it's like a lot of Eastern idols are not allowed to date, period. Because they're supposed to be open for their fans.
See, that's weird.
Yeah, and I personally don't like that either.
Yeah.
I also just personally don't care when someone I like is dating someone. I'm just like, as long as they're treating you nice and you are happy, I don't care.
Yeah. If they're a musician, I'll be like, the songs will be great.
Yeah. But, like, in, especially, like, Japanese idol culture and stuff like that, like, especially if it's a girl, if they're caught dating anyone, they usually have to retire. Like, they have to quit. Either that or they have to do, like, a huge apology. There was a big deal, I think, back in, like, the early 2010s, where a very, very prominent idol from a very, very big idol group, they found out she was dating someone and she had to shave her head in apology.
Why?
Because she was supposed to be, like, because she was supposed to be an idol. She was supposed to be a dream for the fans. And if she's taken, she can't be their dream anymore.
See, and that's wild to me, because so I remember an instance, like, this is probably the closest I've ever seen. So when I was in high school, I was part of the Cumberbatch.
The Cumberbitches.
I'm not going to call myself that. I hated
You're a Cumberbitch.
I hated it so much. It was such a sexist thing. I know some people, like, actively call themselves that. I did not associate with that. I was like, we are Cumber Cookies. We are part of the Cumberbatch. I thought that was fun. I liked that. When he got engaged, I remember the meltdowns. And I remember them digging up info. So his wife, I don't know a ton about her career now. At the time, because everybody just dug up info on her, they were like, she's an opera singer, she also directs, she was kind of like at the time, like a lower level, like, person in the arts industry. And everybody was like digging up stuff on her, thinking just pointing out, they're like, she's not that talented, all this stuff. And I remember, so after the engagement is announced, they do a red carpet together. And there is a picture of her walking, like, hand in hand, walking off the red carpet, and her, like, chin is up, her nose is in the air, and everyone's like, look how snotty she is. Look how
my God.
The meltdowns were insane.
That's, like, a human person.
That's a human person. Yeah. And, like, I was 17, like, when this happened, and, like, I think that was also one of the things that definitely, like, there are some things, I think, in fandom that really knock the goggles off you, like the fandom goggles, where you kind of sit there and go, like, whoa, like, this is maybe a bit too far. And I've had a few instances like that, and now, like, I even feel weird crushing on actors when I know they are married. Like, that's weird to me because, again, that's a human person. And what is a crush? A lack of information.
Yes.
So, like, sometimes if I want to preserve a celebrity crush, I try to know as little about them as possible. Or, like, if I know something, it's, like, trivial, like, their favorite color.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't like to know.
They like mac and cheese.
They like mac and cheese. I'll watch the GQ things they can't live without, and it's usually just a random list of products. And I'm like, that's all I need to know. Your favorite book is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. It is also on my shelf. Thank you. I was like, great, we get along fantastic. It's nice to know sometimes you're like, we'd have something to talk about if I ran into you on the street.
Yes.
But I don't like getting, especially the Supernatural guys, there's a lot of RPF, real person fanfic about them, and they are married with children, multiple children, and sometimes I'm just like, when you start bringing the wives into it, when you start bringing the kids into it, like portraying the kids in fanfiction, I get weirded out. I draw a line. I'm like, they are allowed to live a life that is not food for you.
Yes. Yeah, they are not for your consumption off screen.
Off screen, they are not for your consumption. Exactly.
Yeah. No, I'm lucky that I don't really, the closest thing I deal with real people fanfiction is I sometimes occasionally read Minecraft fanfiction. But it's usually set within the universe of whatever their Minecraft thing is. It's usually not them as people.
Yeah.
Which is, actually there was a huge deal a couple years back where like AO3 would tag stuff for the Minecraft thing with their real names. Because the real names were like public knowledge. But they would tag it with their real names, and there's people, and the fandom was basically just like, is there a way for us to contact you and have those tags changed? Because I don't want people to think that I'm portraying this as a person. I am just portraying whatever the persona is in this specific instance. And I think the tags were changed at some point. I don't really read that much on AO3. I usually just, if something comes across my dash, I'll read it. But,
any kind of like self-insert or like self-ship stuff usually I read on Tumblr, because it's usually short, or if it's like multi-part, love that shit, eat that up, love it. But yeah, I draw the line. If I want to do like a pretending I'm sort of with the actor thing, I will find like a Hollywood AU version of the characters. Like, I just don't feel comfortable reading about real people in that way.
Yeah. I don't read a lot of... Here's the thing about me. I'm really big in the self-shipping fandom. I don't read a lot of fanfic for it. Because I usually...
You write a lot?
I write a lot. I don't read a lot.
Okay, so you produce a lot, but you don't consume very much.
Yeah, but for myself. It's for myself. I don't, like, I have my whole fic with Fire Mom 3 Houses. Several fics, actually, with Fire Mom 3 Houses. But I don't necessarily post it. The only thing I would get into, like, when it comes to writing with self-shipping is I'll do headcanons. Because I'll be like, okay, I
love a little headcanon list.
I love a headcanon.
I love dating such and such would include lists. I like those.
One of my favorite headcanon lists, and this is very specific to this one specific fandom, but there was a Twisted Wonderland, like, headcanons for when you're joining specific clubs at the school.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like, no, that was, like, really, really cute.
I actually like those. Those are really nice and really short and, like, just fun. And, like, usually harmless fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't do, like a X-Reader fanfic, because every single time they open their mouth, I'm like, I would not fucking say that.
Oh, there are times where I'm like, I would not fucking say that. I also run into issues with, like...
I also get taken out of it whenever I see YN, so...
There's an extension for that.
I know you can do text replacers, but it's not the same.
It doesn't always work.
Yeah.
And also, here's the thing, I will, like, not even put my name in the YN, I will put, like, the kind of OC character I have.
Yes, that's what I do too.
It's like, so it's not me, like, I give, it's me, but it's not me.
Yeah.
Like, it would be like, what would my dream character be if I were in this?
Yes.
Like, yeah. So, I feel like you and I do the self-ship thing, but we kind of have a very clear, we add, like, an extra boundary or something.
Yeah.
And so I think that's how I know because I remember we were watching a video essay, which we will link below.
Yes.
To do research for this. And there were some things he was describing that I was very scared I was partaking in. And then he would go into, like, his, but also, and I'd be like, oh yeah, but I reel it in. Like, it's fine.
And, like, there are certain people who, like, this is their life. And this is, like, I'm just like, if you're happy and healthy, and you just love the character, that's fine. I follow so many girls who are basically just like, yeah, I love Kaido from Vocaloid. And she's like, and I buy so much stuff for Kaido from Vocaloid, and basically I don't want any really relationships, I just want to be with Kaido. And she seems perfectly happy and healthy. Again, I don't know her life, but she seems happy and healthy, she seems financially responsible.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, if that's what you are, then that's what you are. Like, it's a lot different.
And when I would, like, if, during my more, bad years or whatever, like, I would check in with myself a lot when it came to, like, this sort of thing and be like, okay, is this... I would kind of check into with myself being like, do I know reality from fiction? Like, do I know the difference? And I'd be like, yes, clearly. Like, I know when I'm fantasizing and I know when I'm not. And I would also be like, do you think, like, if you got into a real relationship, would this, like, ruin it or something? Like, I would kind of, like, try to, like, be like, okay, but if something came along, would this cause a problem? Because I was like, I'm still open to something in real life.
Yeah.
I just haven't come across it yet.
Yeah.
So I do check in with myself a lot just to be like, hey, is this becoming debilitating? But also, like, right now, like, I feel like a good amount of social interaction in my life, and, like, I don't feel like I'm not doing anything. Yeah. I work, I go to things, I have I have friends that I see, like, I have a family, like,
again, frictional relationships are great. They are not a total substitute.
Yeah.
They are one aspect of a pie. They are not the whole pie.
Yes. Yes. And I think, like, if you're, like, somebody who's not part of fandom in that way, and you're listening to this and you're like, this sounds insane. Again, like, I need you to understand, it's part of the pie. It's not the whole pie. There are people who take it too far. There's always going to be people who take it too far.
Again, those edge cases tend to blow up, but they are edge cases.
Yes.
It's the tip of the iceberg, and you do not see what's underneath.
Yeah, a lot of times these are very normal people who, like, have jobs and pay taxes. Yes. Like, this is, like, I can assure you they are just some guy, gender neutral.
Yeah, some gender neutral guy.
Yeah.
And then for people who are self-shippers, howdy.
Yeah.
Or if you just realized you were, also howdy.
Also howdy.
Welcome to hell.
Yeah. Because I do think there's, like, they do say, like, with the self-shipping, they say, like, what elevates it is the fact that it can't be real. It can't exist.
It is, like, it's a perfect thing.
Well, it's perfect, but also they say, like, sometimes the emotions are heightened by the fact that there is that chasm between you. Because you can't do physical touch, you can't, like, that's what they're talking about. And I personally, like... But the way I saw it is, like, I was like, I know what I'm getting into. I know it's not, like, real. So I'm not going to get all upset that...
You can always close the tab.
You can always close the tab. So, like, I do think sometimes, like, a good litmus test is if the person is really overly overwrought over the fact that they cannot go into the world, or the character can't come into this world. That could be a warning sign. Yeah. That could be a warning sign if you're just like, I think, honestly, and I'm going to bring Taylor Swift into it, I think Down Bad by Taylor Swift is a very good example of that feeling. The fuck it, if I can't have him, I might as well just die. Yeah. Like, that attitude, if you're having that attitude go seek help.
Just go outside. Touch grass.
Talk to a real person.
Go to a library.
Something, like, just, that's usually a sign that you need to
take a breather. Take a breather.
Yeah, that's usually a sign you need to get out.
If you are harassing real people over pixels, you are bad. You are in the wrong.
You are in the wrong. That is not an okay thing to do. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Okay. That was self-shipping.
That's barely scratching the surface of self-shipping.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much more we could talk about. There's a lot. But, yeah, I think we've revealed enough embarrassing things about ourselves for one day. We will see everybody in 2 weeks.
Those weeks.
We don't know what the episode is. We've officially hit the point in the podcast where
we're winging it.
We're winging it. We have no clue. We sit down at the meeting and we're like, what do we want to do? I don't know. And we look at our lists.
We pull out the dartboard and we just blindfold ourselves and we throw it and we usually break a window, but...
If you want to keep up with us while not listening to the podcast, you can follow me at Lindsey Taft Music pretty much everywhere.
I am at 2amrainbow-official.tumblr.com. I'm mostly doing 100-line art right now, but I'm always up for any sort of chatter.
If you want to follow the podcast, you can see Kill Your Normie Pod at Instagram, on Instagram. We are at Kill Your Normie on Tumblr as well. I have been reblogging things to the Tumblr. I think from my main Tumblr, I think it is indicating where it's coming from.
It does if you're logged in. Because
okay, good.
It doesn't show
I was like, look, I've got this is weird. I have a professional Tumblr and I have a personal Tumblr where I shitpost. the professional Tumblr is where I'm sending you.
Yes, same here. Same
It's
here.
mostly Taylor Swift and Broadway, so if you don't like that, sorry. You follow me elsewhere, because, yeah. So, Kill Your Normie pod on Instagram, Kill Your Normie on Tumblr. What's the Bluesky?
Kill Your Normie on Bluesky.
Oh, there's no pod.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the only person who did the pod part. You can keep up with us on there, and we will put all, like, a lot of sources that we've looked at. Red, you'll compile some sources.
Yes.
And did most of the research.
Also, a lot of it's from the old dome, so.
We